Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today it is finally time for my mid-year declutter. Have I passed the mid-year point? Yes, I have, but I have time to film this today. Also, perfect moment to film this. I've just returned from a 3-day camping trip that we did with friends, and I'm exhausted. I'm going insane slowly. It is very warm and very humid right now. And in 3 days, I'm leaving for a long weekend of 5 days, 4 days, 4.5 days of festival. So I have my washing machine going. I have my air conditioning going upstairs. My husband is asleep. He was not feeling well. And I've just been going around and sorting things out, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna film this now. I'm not gonna show my face because it looks horrendous and I'm very tired, and I didn't feel like doing my makeup and then filming whatever else I had to film, so I thought this was the perfect opportunity. We'll do overhead shot and look at my collection and say goodbye to some palettes, because I have some in my collection that can go. So I have these two, if you haven't seen them before. This was a box from a gift set, and then this is the lid. This I use for my everyday makeup. So I have my palettes in here that are either in a project or that have shadows that I'm trying to pan or whatever. That's in here, and then this is the rest. So I'm gonna push this out of the way. Also, our table is filled with stuff that needs sorting out before we go to our festival weekend, but not right now. I want to film. I'm gonna take this dirty rag out, also this, and show you what is in here and see if there's anything that we can get rid of. So I just decided to put this to the side. I don't think I can push it out of frame completely. Yeah, well, bear with me. I have here a palette with some blushes that I'm gonna keep. This is in a project pan. I literally have no room to put this. My favorite palette at the moment, the Micro Beauty Shop Peacock Feathers palette. This one I love, so this is not going anywhere. The Beauty Bay Tropical palette, this one, I'm not sure about. Honestly, I think I will leave it for now, but I do really seriously have to consider what I want to do with this, and if I want to use or keep all of these shadows, because I'm not really reaching for everything, and as a whole, it doesn't really inspire me all that much. So I'm keeping it for now, but it is potentially on the chopping block. And then I have the Juvia's Place Magic Mini. This is currently in a project. I like this. I don't love it. So again, I have to make my mind up what to do with this. There's some shades in here that I really do enjoy, but I've also noticed that the quality is not the best anymore. Like, the payoff is not the best anymore. So again, this one I'm gonna have to think about and really use and see if it's something that I want to keep as a palette, or maybe take some shadows out, or what I want to do with it. So for now it's staying. Then I have the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette. This is currently my Project Level Up palette. This is very well loved, you guys. This palette looks butchered. There's so many pans in here. I even finished a complete shadow. Not that it was a special shade, but I finished it. This side is a mess because I used this as a blush to a palette. So there's a lot of pans. I like this palette and I'm gonna keep it, but this one also has some shadows in here that have me think about, do I want to keep the whole palette or do I want to just take some out at one point? but that point is not right now. So we're keeping that. Honestly, out of this everyday little section, I don't know if I'm getting rid of a lot. I have a palette here with some singles that I'm not going to do anything with. Then there is my Pama palette that I'm keeping as it is. This is a highlighting palette. I can show you this. Keeping that. Really like those. Then we have the Glamlight Scooby-Doo palette. I also really like this. Like, everything in here makes me so happy, but the fact that this is so big is really annoying. But yeah, for now I'm gonna keep this as well. I love the colors and I love the layout and I love the design, so keeping that. Then I have a palette with a selection of singles. So the smaller ones, the top 2 rows, are ColourPop. Then I have, oh, these 2 are ColourPop as well. Then I have this row of Glam Shop singles that don't fit in the palette that I'm about to show you guys. And then the last 2 rows are Mica Beauty Shop singles. I'm just gonna keep these. If I do a declutter of my singles, I will film that separately. So for now we're not touching those. And then I also have this big palette with the remainder of my Glam Shop singles. And actually one is missing, and that is in here. Well, actually I have a couple of Glam Shops in here, but I haven't really been using this one, so I'm going to put that back in there. Okay, so out of the everyday basket, if you will, nothing got evicted. There's some that are on my mind, in a sense of I have to really use these and try and make up my mind if I like them enough to keep them, but they're not for declutters just yet. So I'm gonna pop this back, and now I have some more space to move around to. So let's start with the singles. Again, like I said, if I'm gonna declutter, I will do a separate video, but here I have some ColourPop singles. The missing ones are in my Pama palette as of right now. And then I have more singles in here. You can see I store my palettes upright, and the sun hits the top of my palette, so some might have some discoloration. This one is probably the most noticeable. Here I have my Zueva singles, and then from this one and then the last row, these are Beauty Beige singles that I took out of different palettes. So I have some out of the Naked Tutorials palette. I think I have 3, then 2 out of the 9 Pan Berries, and then 4 out of the 9 Pan Midnight. So there is that. Then here's our first victim. Here is the Lethal Cosmetics 1-Up palette. I mean, I don't even want to give this any more screen time. This has been a pain in the butt. I've had this palette for a while. I didn't love it. I wanted to love it. I hated it. The quality was so bad. It was my first ever Lethal Cosmetics palette, and I never bought from them again because I thought the quality was so bad. So there's 3 shadows in here that are from the original 1-Up palette. Haven't used them. Then I put some of the ABH Nervina and then some of Milani. I don't use these, and every time I look at this, rage just fills me. So I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna keep this packaging. That is what we did last time, and it was a great idea, but it just doesn't work. And I don't know if I want to go through the hassle of repressing again just to keep this packaging. It is funny, it's cute, but I'm just gonna let it go. It is time. It has been time for a very long time. Then, a more positive note. This is the Lord of the Rings Glamlight palette. This is the newest palette in my collection. I haven't really used this a whole lot. I did a video with it that I will link if you haven't seen already, and I loved that. I like the Glamlight formulas. They're nice. I just love it. I love Lord of the Rings. I had to have this. This I'm gonna keep. That's just what I was trying to say with an insane amount of words. Unnecessary amount. Then I have the ColourPop New Moon palette. This one again, I love my warm tones. I love Twilight, I love New Moon. I'm gonna keep this. Same goes for the ColourPop Twilight palette. This color story isn't really me, but it really surprised me, and I really used it more than I thought I would. I even have 2 pans in it already, and I haven't really had this palette for a whole lot longer. Wow, that was not a sentence. I haven't even had this palette for too long, and I already have 2 pens. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this as well. Then we have, this is all gonna fall down in a second, the Makeup Beauty Shop Serpent palette. This is what that looks like. Again, very well loved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pans. I really like this one, so I'm gonna keep this one. Then I have the Glamlight Scooby-Doo Raggy palette. This is what that looks like. So we have some greens, some blues. This one I'm not really sure about. I like these tones. I do like this blue. I don't really care for the rest all that much, but I also cannot really get rid of it just yet, so I'm gonna keep it for now. Then I also have the blue version. This is the Creeps and Crawls palette. This I just never use. I never use it. So I think, oh, just looking at it now, I really want to keep it. I'm gonna keep it for a little bit longer and see if I use it. And if I don't, I'll let it go. Why is it so hard sometimes to declutter? And then I have the Give Me Glow Summer Vibes palette. This one I like, but again, I feel like the size is annoying me. I just don't gravitate towards this. And I do want to give it another shot, but I also have, like, in the back of my mind, a little voice that's saying it is not special enough to keep it around. But these summery colors really scream my name. Like this yellow and then this sort of pinky red. Oh my gosh, I love just looking at these colors. It makes me really happy, but I never put them on my eyes. So I am gonna keep this. Maybe I should do a video where I like sort through my collection and compare each color to see how much overlap I have, so that it maybe can justify letting go of some palettes. Whereas now I'm like, oh, but I love these colors and I feel like I don't have them in any other shape or form or palette, but I might. So maybe that's also an idea for me to do. But for now, I'm keeping this one as well. Then I have the Beauty Bay Bright palette. This is what it looks like. It is currently in my, oh, it was in my Pandas eyeshadows, and I just didn't really use it a whole lot. There was one shadow in my Pandas eyeshadows that I was still working on, and I thought I will just work on this entire palette to see what I use. I don't use this. I've worked on this gold for Expand Those Pans and realized it was a very pretty gold. All the other shadows, I couldn't care less. So I think it's time to let this one go, honestly. Although I do think about maybe saving that gold. Do I want to go through the hassle of doing that? Okay, you know what? This is going to be a declutter, but I'm gonna still do a video where I check if I have anything similar to this shadow. If I don't have anything similar to that, I will let this one go completely, and if I cannot find anything similar, I will take this shadow out. Let's just do that. Then here I have the Zulu by Juvia's Place. Really like this one. The color story makes no sense, but for some reason whenever I pull this out, I do really enjoy using it, so I'm gonna keep it. Then I have the Beauty Bay Earthy. This is the only 9 pan that is still intact, and I've been really enjoying this. I specifically love these 4 shadows. These ones, not really my favorites. I have a pan in every shadow except for the middle one. All the others have a pan, so that says a lot. I'm gonna keep this one. Again, ideally I would take the 3 or 4 shadows out that I use, but I don't feel like it's worth the hassle just yet. Here I have a ColourPop palette with some glitters. Can you see that one? That one is almost finished. That's crazy. I love the ColourPop glitters. I'm gonna keep those. Then I have the Kimchi Chic Orange palette. Honestly, for someone who loves orange as much as I do, I don't use this enough. So I'm gonna try and make it my priority to use this more. And if I don't, I can let it go. But I just love orange on my eyes. So I should really love this, and I should really get my use out of this. And then last but not least, do you guys know what is coming? This should have been done so many months ago. I want to say years, but maybe that's a little bit too much, but definitely many months ago. These are my Beauty Bay Disney palettes. They look very cute. I never use them. Whenever I open them, I'm like, cute layout, but stupid color stories. What are we supposed to do with this? All mattes, all colors that don't really make sense together. Well, except maybe for Bambi, but this one is boring. This, what clownery is this? I mean, goes with the whole Circus and Dumbo theme, but it's so weird for a palette of eyeshadows. What do we do with it? So what do we do with it? We let them go. I am gonna declutter these. Finally, I'll be so happy to have these out of my collection. I've talked about this for so long. I had one as my last level up palette, and then I realized, what am I even doing? This is just stupid. Why am I holding on to these? I don't like them, so they're gonna go. There we have it. Is this really the best declutter ever? I don't think so. So we have these 5 and then these 2, but I do really feel like whatever I've left in my collection is generally something that I do like, or some palettes that I want to give a shot before I decide whether to keep them or not. I'm not someone who, first of all, buys palettes just very easily. I do give some thought about what I want to bring into my collection, and if it's really a color story that I like. I wasn't always like this. I bought these because I thought, oh, they're so cute. Didn't think them through. But I've come to that point in my life where I am more and more thinking through what I really want to bring into my collection. I talked about this in the Lord of the Rings Get Ready With Me with the Glamlight palette. Like, yes, it was Lord of the Rings themed, but I also really looked at the color story and was like, is it something that I will wear or not? And I did the same for the Twilight palettes. So yeah, I just don't bring a lot into my collection, and that means that most of what I have is something that I really like, and so I don't have a lot to declutter. But that being said, we still found some products to get rid of. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I think I might go down for a nap because just talking to you guys, I feel like I'm getting delirious. So maybe I should just do that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.